Hello, you're listening to Daijoubu podcast. Today, I'm here, Christian, and today I'm here with Gabby and David.
Hey.
All right, and today is our 12th episode. Today we're going to be talking about the end of spring season 2016, part 1 review. We have about 14 shows that we watched this season, so we're going to cut it into like 6 and 8 or 7 and 7. I don't really remember. And so this week we'll cover the first 8, which are going to be Kisniver, Joker Game, Space Patrol Luluko, Tanaka-kun is Always Listless, Mayoika, and Boku no Hero Academia. So that's 6.
We're going to try to do this, or we're going to do this spoiler-free, so not go into too much detail, just talk about our general reactions about it.
Yeah, of course. Gabby, were you saying something?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. And then the second half of our show, we're going to be talking about Danshi Koukousei no Nichijou, or otherwise known as Nichi Bros. Otherwise
everyday lives.
known as, the everyday lives of high school boys. Or daily lives of high school boys.
Yeah.
So, if you've watched that, that's going to be completely spoiler. So, we're going to talk about like all the skits and what we loved about it. Because I'm pretty sure we all loved it. Yeah. But, alright, so we're going to start it off with Kisniver.
So, Kisniver, I know when the season was airing, Christian was super excited about it. Just a quick recap. It's a show about a group of students who get abducted by the government, and they get this operation done on them. And a handful of students are now connected to each other by pain. And through that, they develop bonds. And it's made by Trigger, and it's an original story. So I know Christian was super excited about it, and I also was excited about it, maybe not as much as Christian, but yeah, I mean, let's see, general reaction so far, I'm only on episode 8, so I can't really say like a full review of how, it ended, obviously, so, but I don't know. To me, guys, I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was really boring.
What?
And yeah, I'm only up to episode 8, and I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Kisniver, it's a very slow show. It's much more about, there's not a lot of action. It's all about the characters and, how they interact. And a lot of character development. And it's, character development is always going to feel slow because it's a lot of dialogue and not really, things happening. But, as you learn more about the characters, you realize, how much they don't know about each other, how much they need to care for each other, kind of things, how much they're forced into this awkward situation of hey, you 7 random people, now you're all connected by pain, you have to be friends now, and how they all deal with that, how they all cope with it together. And it's really neat, and you get to see them evolve around pain and stuff, and how
and the relationships they form between each other.
And they're just I can definitely see how it gets boring. I think the really, really climactic episode is episode 9. I think.
I remember not watching it one week, and then that was the week where you guys were both just wow.
We're absolutely
it just
blown away.
Like this, and then it goes, whew, and all of a sudden it's just really hyped for 3 episodes.
Yeah, just very emotional.
Continued, but
I
might finish it for next week. But yeah, what do you guys think? Having the full 1 through from beginning to end, just overall, what do you guys think?
I really enjoyed it. It really connected. I think it really does a good job at grasping the emotions that you feel at that time in your life.
In your adolescence life, yeah.
Right. They do a very good job at capturing that, because there were points where I think a few episodes, the last 3 they were talking about that are very emotional, I could remember points in which interactions that they were having and feelings they were having that I'm I had those feelings about very similar situations in high school, even though it's a whole different kind of scenario that they're in because of the weird feeling stuff that they
you weren't kidnapped by the government.
Right,
Oh, whoa, okay. I thought that was just
not, but but yeah. So that's the thing I think they did the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they really did capture how genuine like all of their emotions felt. Like all the characters felt really not really real, but they felt very genuine, very real because of like some situations they go through, like they're all confused, and then they make the viewer really confused, and it's just like they captured emotion very, very well through this series. And I agree with Gabby that I liked it a lot. I liked the show and like everywhere it goes because I like character development stuff.
Right.
So definitely, if you're expecting like action and stuff because you've watched other Trigger things, there's only like maybe 4 fight scenes, and they're not fight scenes. It's just like
Yeah.
random little giant teddy bear things, like stealing them. So
Right.
there's no like fighting, but it's still very like the show has its own version of like stress and anticipation and like foreshadowing and stuff. It's just not in the same as like a shonen, like, oh yeah, like I need to, or like how is he gonna get through this fight, like how is he gonna get through that stuff. It's more like,
Yeah.
how are these characters gonna patch up their relationship.
Yeah.
They're like they're
Will
so
they be
mad at each
friends?
other.
Will they?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a different kind of feeling that you have from, yeah, like this is just like a shout out to like all slice of life, really, because slice of life is like boring. Like Nono Biori is boring, but like at the same time, if you like, you know,
my heart.
emotions and stuff, then yeah, then you'll get something from that.
Okay. So it's just like a lot of, because at first it seemed like, I don't know, more action like you said, but it makes it sound like you guys are saying it's really like about the raw relationships between human beings.
Yeah, definitely. Especially closer to the end when you start like finding stuff out. But yeah, no, I mean, I never felt bored with Kisniver. I mean, but it's partially because I really like character development, so I instantly felt connection to like you know, Chidori, the like girl who's like reddish hair.
Mm-hmm.
The main character girl.
Yeah, basically the main character girl. Like I instantly felt like connection to her within the first like few episodes. So, and also Tenga because he is like the character from Gurren Lagann. So I was like, yes.
So what other shows would you guys recommend for people looking into getting shows like Kisniver?
Okay, yeah. So suggestions. If you liked Kisniver, then you would probably also like Kokoro Connect, which is like another emotion-based high school students
Yeah, high
have
school.
to go through an experiment kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
it's like a group of children too, not children, high schoolers.
Yeah, I want to say children too, but yeah, it's very character development heavy, like cute show about people getting along. So that's what Kisniver is too. So there's that. Then there's also Anohana, which it's about like emotions too, not action
Not
piece.
actiony at all.
Yeah,
Lots of
slice
crying.
lifey.
Yeah,
And
it is a lot of crying.
The thing is though is that the Kisniver and Anohana had the same writer. She wrote both of them.
That's good. They both capture emotions very, very well.
Yeah, so they're gonna have like that similar feel. And then the same writer also wrote Mayoiga. So if you want to hate your life, you can also watch Mayoiga.
Slash will be talking about that in like 2 minutes. So
like 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So that pretty much wraps up Kisniver.
Wait, but we didn't talk about if were you satisfied with the ending? And we're not going to spoil anything, but just were you?
Oh, we're just gonna
Just say if you're satisfied by the end.
I think you asked me this like 3 days ago, and I was like, I don't really remember, except for like one little part. In general, yeah, I'm remembering it right now, and like, yeah, it's really good. They do stuff with the characters that you like, that some people wanted them to do, and some people really didn't want them to do.
Yeah,
but like. But in general, like, Nico is still best girl by the end of it. Even, like, she just, like, trumps everybody. And, like, that's all I really wanted, was to make sure that Nico was amazing.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, no, I really like the ending. What about you?
I mean, I enjoyed the ending. I think they tied everything up well.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing was, like, I felt like there was such a mood change from, like, the second to last episode to the last episode. It was just, like, a bit sudden. I mean, it didn't like change the way I felt about the anime. It was just like, oh, this is a whole nother field of this episode. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I know,
that
right?
was my only thing, because they kind of like did like a little bit of a time jump ish, but not too big. But it just made it like
man,
smooth.
It's like a couple months.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I agree. Like 11th episode's like soul crushing. Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, I will never
Oh,
be friends with my friends that I've made mad at me ever
oh
again.
god.
Kind of deal. And then the 12th episode is just like Daijoubu. So, but not really. It's not like backhanded like Daijoubu.
No,
It's
no.
just like everything actually is okay because we, figured things out. But yeah, would recommend Kisniver from this season. Next one we're going to talk about is Joker Game. So I didn't watch it. So
Yeah.
take it away, Gabby.
Me and David both semi-watched it.
Yeah.
It's basically, we've talked about it before a little bit. It's like this. When was it? World War I, right?
It's a fictional war, but yeah, sometime
The
around there.
fictional World War I-esque time period anime, and it's about these like elite spies that basically get sent to different places around the world, and you follow their stories individually. Yeah. Even though the first episode makes you think they're all going to stay there and you're going to follow like them together, but then like it takes a turn, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what happened? I didn't even get to know these characters, and all of a sudden,
right? Yeah.
So both me and David ended up dropping it. David got to episode 5. I think that's pretty much where I got to. Yeah, because it really just, I don't know. It individualizes the characters, like I said. So but you haven't had any connection with those characters because you had like literally one episode to get to know them.
Right.
And there are like 12 of them. So yeah.
Yeah.
You don't feel any connection or want to.
Right. It's like a hard thing to do because 1, there's so many characters, and then 2, they're supposed to be spies. So maybe the whole thing was like you're not supposed to remember these characters anyways because they're spies. And you're like, all right, but then that makes it even more hard to be like, why do I care about this story?
Yeah, and each little story wasn't like invigorating enough to.
Exactly right. Like the plot of each episode wasn't good enough to just completely replace characterization.
Yeah.
So it's like, so. Yeah, overall, what do you think?
I mean,
like 5 episodes.
I mean, maybe later. I don't even know, because like I say that maybe later I will finish it if I had nothing else to do, and there was like literally no other anime that I had like on my list. I'd be like, I'll go back to Joker Game and see how that ended.
Yeah.
Because I have heard that like it starts tying things together at the end, but I don't care to find out really.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Unless I'm like uber bored one day. I probably won't ever finish it. So I would. Okay, go ahead.
No, you're gonna say something.
I was just gonna say,
yeah,
you should only watch this, or people would like this if you liked kind of like wartimey.
Yeah.
Stories, like old, or historical is the word.
Is it episodic?
It is episodic.
Okay.
The first episode, they introduce all the spies.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes have like a little story to go along with it, and then the 3rd episode you just like all of a sudden are in a whole nother place and you barely recognize the character, and then everyone else is new and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
With no explanation other than I guess this is where the spies went.
Each episode happens, and I have to guess who the spy is, if that makes sense. Because it's like they throw in all the extra characters, and then the spy I never got to know. And I'm just like, are you the guy that I saw in the first episode? I don't know. You look so plain and boring. So
yeah, they look different, obviously, because they're spies. But it's just so yeah.
Strange.
So would I recommend it to people? Probably not. There's so much better out there, I would say. Yeah. But like I said, maybe I have shit taste. I don't know.
Yeah, depends. There aren't too many, I think, historical anime out there to watch. I mean, that's not my genre, so I can't say too much on it. But
Girls in Panzer, or I guess that's futuristic. I don't know.
Right. So the ones that I put on here to recommend if you like Joker Game, or if you like these things, maybe like Joker Game, Baccano, because it's also like kind of
that time area,
that time period, and also and Baccano follows like individual characters type thing, but then their stories come together at the end, and I heard that one does it a lot better because I know a lot of people who really like Baccano.
Yeah, like Christian.
Yeah, and I want to watch it real bad. And then I put Rakugo on there as well because
I was thinking Rakugo as well. Yeah.
But that's pretty much the only like basis I have to recommend Rakugo. It's like it's
And
another
the two-
period piece.
Okay, so like your recommendations, those two things are way better than Joker Game. So like,
Yeah. Watch
skip
those
Joker
two.
Game and watch what Bakuno and Rakugo. Like, please, like.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
All right, so next on the list is actually Space Patrol Luluko.
Nice.
And this is Trigger's short of the season.
Mhm.
And it's basically a little story that follows a little girl named Luluko who just wants to be a normal little girl living in this tiny little town who lives a normal, boring little life. And there's also aliens in this town. It's like futuristic. And all of a sudden, her dad gets frozen by space things, and she has to take his dad's job in the Space Patrol. And now she's a middle school? Middle school.
She's 13.
They say lots at the end. They're like middle school.
Yeah, so
okay.
she's a middle school student that is now a part of the Space Patrol agency, and a bunch of crazy things happen to her hometown.
Aliens and all variations of things.
So, take that as you will, because the plot just goes insane. Like, it's the craziest thing ever. It's
random.
a short series. All the episodes are like 7 minutes long. And it's basically just Trigger's love story to Trigger. Like...
Yeah, there are a lot of little references to Kill la Kill and Little Witch. Big ones to Little Witch.
I would say big references, like literally the characters from those things.
Yeah.
Were,
true.
You know, every episode is its own like little world version of all of Trigger's other creations.
Yeah.
And it's really, really neat to see that if you're a Trigger fan. Like, I think all of us enjoyed it a lot because it's super, super fun, and we've all watched a bunch of Trigger stuff. So, like, Trigger's not that old of a studio at all. I think they formed like 2012, so it's not like hard to have kept up with them at this point. But like, if you haven't seen other Trigger things, you might have that disconnect with a bunch of the episodes because some of them are just like, haha, look at what we did. You saw this before. Kind of thing.
But I don't think it's necessary to the plot or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, I think there was one episode where I like did not get the reference at all, but I still love that episode of Luluko. You know, it might maybe go over my head. Like, it's probably even better to like know the references, like you said. But I like just the show alone, Space Luluko alone. It's just it's great. It's fine. You don't have to watch all those things to enjoy the show.
It's nice to when they had like guts from Kill la Kill. I'm like guts, and then I mean it's just like a little homage.
Yeah, but at the same time, like you guys did watch all of the Trigger stuff, so you guys don't have like the perspective of like what does it feel like to watch this show without watching those things. I was referencing
one.
There's that one episode.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what it is, and I don't want to say like I don't want to go too much into detail. But like
that was
an episode I had no idea what it was like.
Where like they had a lot less color and things like that, and a little world. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I assume it's another Trigger.
I'm gonna go with it. You know what I'm saying? I assume it's another Trigger, and I'm gonna go with it, and it's not gonna detract from the plot.
And it's still funny.
Okay, but what I'm saying is you've seen like the other Trigger things, so you haven't gone into the show not seeing any Trigger things, and then being like, watch every episode and being like, oh, I have no connection towards any of these episodes, kind of thing. So, like, okay, so what I'm mentioning is, or what I'm trying to get at is, I watched Captain America: Civil War recently. Like, cool, the new Marvel movie, right?
That one's...
I didn't know. I haven't watched a Marvel movie since Iron Man 1. So
everything went over your head?
So I had no idea what any of the characters were doing, and like I realized that they were grabbing in all these plots from all the other like Marvel movies, like Ant-Man, Captain America, Civil War, Winter Soldier, like all these things, and I was just like, what is going on? And like I didn't enjoy it at all because I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And so like Space Patrol Luluko does have its own plot, but at the same time, like it's very like Trigger inside joke heavy, I feel.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you guys are just ignoring that. You're like, oh yeah, but one episode didn't have it, and like,
I don't think it's that heavily based on it.
Right. I was also gonna say that you didn't like it because there's a lot of plot that was from like Ant-Man that was in Civil War, but like you not understanding the plot to Kill la Kill doesn't detract from Space Patrol Luluko. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
just
you
because
wouldn't
he's
know
such
the
a
references at all.
you wouldn't know the references, but like you
But the
could
references
still,
aren't relevant to the plot.
right? Like when he mentioned like life threads, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sucking, your energy." Like, you don't have to know what life threads is. It is cool to know what it
Yeah,
is.
and
but
he does like a little explanation right
yeah,
there.
you just have to know that it's bad, and then that's it.
But you don't even
So
know it's okay. Okay, I'm
it
only
does,
I'm
he
only
tells you
I'm only
straight up.
saying this because like I love the show so much because I've seen all the Trigger things, and I'm just saying if I hadn't watched the Trigger things, like any normal person out there watching this show would probably be really random and just hyperactive.
I
And
guess.
so like I don't think you should just like suggest a show to like someone who's never watched like anything Trigger.
I still would. I still probably would because
Yeah, I think so.
like the first two
Okay,
episodes
cool,
was also
cool.
already hyper crazy, like you were saying, and without any of the Trigger references, so it's already kind of like I'm already in for a ride. And then they started
Right.
introducing
Yeah,
Trigger
in the
with-
beginning, yeah, there isn't as much reference. It's way heavier at the end than it is in the beginning. So I think they get a feel for Luco before they start throwing in Kill la Kill and Little Witch Academia and stuff like that. But yeah.
But I think overall, we definitely think it was like amazing. So
Yeah.
like I loved it. I love the story. I love the love. The love's real. Like
It's so real.
it's so real. I wish I was a middle school 13-year-old girl that loved so much. I wish I felt love in my life, but
Yeah, no, because it went in a complete opposite direction of what I was like expecting. Not opposite, but like
I had no
just
idea
that
where it was going. Like,
yeah, in the beginning, it's like she's all worried about having a normal life and like her dad and stuff like that, and they introduce the love interest boy, and she immediately falls in love. But I didn't really know how that was going to end or how all those things were going to connect or anything like that. So I really liked how it all kind of fit together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christian, anything?
So what was I gonna say?
recommendations?
Yeah. General reaction to, or like, what do you think of it overall? Okay, I guess everyone says like we all thought it was like 9 out of 10,
Amazing.
10 out of 10.
I freaking loved it. So
Yeah, as soon as I was done, I was like looking up. I was like, "What can I buy that's space?"
yeah, same. I was like,
like,
I need like prints of this.
I know they have like Nendroids and stuff like that, and I'm like, I need everything. So
Okay, so if you guys like this, other like hyperactive, super funny shows would probably be Kill la Kill, other Trigger things, Gurren Lagann, a little bit less hyperactive, but just as awesome, just as epic, and
I put Fooly Cooly on there.
Fooly Cooly.
Just because it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's weird
Very
and
short
random.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very,
I
very
was,
hyperactive.
my recommendation would be Space Dandy, where you get that space theme and weird shit happens. Yeah.
Very similar.
All right, so next show is Tanaka-kun is Always Listless.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So
that
this,
one
yeah,
I only watched.
Gabby's got this. I did not watch this.
So Tanaka-kun is Always Listless is about a boy in high school, and he's just like super lazy, and he has a best friend who just kind of like is super noble and just deals with his laziness, and he's the best guy ever because literally Tanaka-kun will be like almost late to class and he's like sleeping out in the courtyard, and then his friend comes and he's like, I'm just gonna pick him up and take him to class because he's like way bigger than him. So he literally just like carries him to class, puts him down at his desk, and he just like sleeps there. And he's like, he's like irresponsible for him, and their relationship is so cute and funny. And then it's just like the rest of the.
Is it as cute and funny as Gon and Kahlua?
Not the same. That's not even.
Okay. I'm just making sure that Gon and Kahlua is still the best friendship of all time.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, and then the rest of the series, I'm like more than halfway through with it right now. The rest of it is just like his interaction with side characters and things, and how like some side character, like pretty much everyone ends up liking Tanaka-kun, even though like he does nothing to earn their affection. He's just like, I don't care. And then,
He's a nothingless.
it's just so funny, his interaction with people, because everyone like starts overthinking things as like I guess semi-normal person does, and they like overthink his actions, and he's just like, oh no, that's not what I was doing at all. And it just ends up with very funny situations, and so I'm really enjoying it. I haven't finished because I had like all these other things to keep up with.
You had life to keep up with. It's fine.
Life and anime. So yeah, just today I finished like 4 episodes. So I definitely plan on finishing it and recommend it to people because I really, really think it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that I would recommend to people if they like these things, they would like Tanaka-kun or the other way around. I think Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun has a very similar like slice of life feel to it, where like because like Nozaki-kun is very kind of out there and people misinterpret the things he does and things like that. So it's a very similar situation in terms of the relationship he has with people. And then there's another show called Master of Killing Time, and that one's hilarious because it's just like a guy that sits next to a girl who's always doing like crazy shit with all his school supplies, and she can't help but like pay attention to what he's doing even though she wants to pay attention to class, and she's like, you shouldn't be doing this,
Yeah.
you're gonna get in trouble, and then she ends up getting in trouble anyways. And then also I think the daily lives of high school boys, which is what we're going to be talking about later. I think if you like that.
Yeah. I tried to watch Tanaka-kun on like some late night. I was like about to go to bed and it was like pitch black. And the one reason I didn't, okay, there's a couple of reasons I didn't like pick it up was because like it was on Gabby's list and I was like, okay, let's just let Gabby watch it. And I had like 11 things to watch. But the one thing, like I was like trying it, and the one thing that stopped me like 5 minutes in was that the show's really bright. It's so
bright. So I've heard a few different things. Like some people say it makes them sleepy because he's so lazy. If you watch it like when you're kind of tired, then you end up like feeling tired as well. And then like people can't finish it because they're literally like half asleep while watching it, but not because it's boring, just because of like the like feeling that it exudes.
It's just tiredness.
Yeah, but it's I love it.
I'm pretty sure it was because I watched it at like midnight, but it was like so dark in my room. Like all the colors were just really bright pastels.
They're very pastel.
I was already tired, so I was just like, I'm gonna go to bed and not watch this show again. But yeah, do not let that detract you from watching Tanaka-kun at all, because I don't know what it's about whatsoever. Yeah,
when you're gonna watch it,
I'm sure it's hilarious. So okay, that's you feel like that's a good wrap up on Tanaka-kun, Gabby? Okay, next one is going to be Mayoiga, and I'm the only one who watched this show, and it's just a anime original made by Dio Media, which I don't remember if they've made anything cool before. But like I said earlier, the writer who wrote this was also like writing or directing or something at the same time, Kisniver, and it just baffles me because I was so unimpressed with Mayoiga. But
you were talking about it so much, like while you were watching it, it made it sound like it was crazy.
It's crazy. Basically,
in a bad way.
Yeah, real quick, it's about 30-ish people who are really sick of their lives in society, and for just various different weird reasons, like none of them know each other except for like 2 people who like want to date, and they're like, hey, we want to find this mystery village called Nanako or something like that, Nanaka Village, and it's a mystery village because it's not on any map, but if you can find it, you can start a civilization there, and they'll like avoid society. So it's funny that they're trying to avoid society because they fucked it up, and they're just gonna go make another one that's gonna be presumptuously fucked up. Right. And basically, I really dislike this show because every episode, it seemed as if it broke its rules from the last episode. Like, it sets up all these characters, and then it's like, forget about it. They're going to do something really weird next episode. And they just keep, like, just keep stacking on the plot, and it keeps, like,
right.
Like, at the beginning, it seems as if the show is going to go one way, and it's going to be, like, a really cool murder mystery. Or it's going to be, like, a really cool, What's the movie where like everyone was dead in the first place? Oh no.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
No,
spoilers to Sixth. Yeah, no. I think it was Sixth Sense.
or
is that the movie? Is that the movie?
That's the movie where the kid has a relationship with like whatever his name is the whole movie.
Right.
He ends up
Bruce, whatever his name.
Bruce Willis.
Okay, well, spoilers for Lost. Lost, it ends up like
Oh, yeah.
everyone's dead already. So it just feels like it's gonna go into a Lost direction. Like they're all gonna be like stranded on like the civilization society thingy, and like they're all just gonna like do weird shit, and next thing you know, like they're all dead. Which that would have been like really cool. But they didn't do any of it. They didn't do any of that. They like kind of explain half of the things. They had so many characters to fuck with that they just like were like, we're gonna give one episode to these 6 characters, and then these 24 other characters are just gonna do whatever. They're just gonna go do whatever. And every episode, they're all yelling at each other. Like no one's like making a plan. Like people's lives aren't that fucked up in the first place. They're just like they're all sociopaths, and so like they all just like have like different perceptions of society that are all very skewed, and like let's throw them together. My Oiga's just like, let's get crazy people, let's throw them together, and it'll be fun. And like, I mean, they achieved fun, but it seemed as if they were trying to take themselves like more seriously than like what it came off to be, which like is just really awkward. Like when you like make such a crazy storyline and then you put stupid solutions to it, like it just doesn't like pull off very well at all. And then the ending is super cheesy, and it's like I could have called that from the first episode.
Oh damn!
And you don't want that to happen. Like at the beginning of the episode, you're like, I want like the first episode, you're like, wow, this is gonna be crazy. Like this is gonna be a weird show. I want the weirdest thing ever. And then it's just like, let's just do a stereotypical ending. Let's just throw it in the garbage. And so it's very
bad erased.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can tell, that's my Moyoga rant. I didn't like the show at all.
Nice. Get it all out there, Christian.
That's literally all I heard. I was watching a streamer the other day, and literally all she, like every other second, she was like, "But really, guys, don't watch my yoga. Don't waste your time, please, please. I'm begging you."
I mean, it's a mystery, I guess. If you like mystery shows, then try it. Other shows that have a lot of characters that I would recommend that pulls it off really well is Baccano. Baccano is kind of mystery. Yeah, no, it's definitely mystery based, darker setting, but Baccano is a little bit more playful and really well executed. So definitely watch that over this. And then my other suggestion would be Erased. It's a mystery, like murder mystery thing. Doesn't have nearly as many characters because no show needs that many characters, but it's an actual engaging mystery story that has a solution that doesn't suck. So, as exhausting as that was, we're done with my Oiga. Now we're gonna move on to Boku no Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Awesome. So all of us are caught up on Boku, and just a quick recap. It's just about a world where everyone has a quirk, and quirk is essentially a superpower. You can have really lame ones, or you can have really cool ones. Our hero, our MC, is a lame kid who is born without a quirk, and he obviously still wants to become a hero at the Hero Academy.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's really hard to get into that school. So
and it's super hard to get into that school.
And it's like no one without a quirk has ever gotten in before, but like it's his whole life goal to be like, I want to be a superhero. So he just does a whole bunch of research on it, being like, maybe my knowledge will.
Mm-hmm.
And it being a shonen, you probably guess what happens next. But and so what do you guys think?
I think it's really, really satisfying. I'm really excited because I mean it's for sure gonna have a second season because like the manga is continuing, is still going on, I think. And I'm really excited to see where the characters go because they've already grown so much within like the 13, 12 episodes that have already come out. And they do character development really, really well. Like you even feel like for the kid who's supposed to be like the bad guy, kind of, or like
the Sasuke of this.
Exactly. And so you still like they make you feel for the side characters even though you don't like just with the tidbits that you know about them. They do a really good job.
I liked it a lot. Story wise, it was very hype. A lot of the episodes, like basically like every episode was like there was one moment that I was just like, oh yeah, you do it. Like, what is his name? I don't even remember the main character's name. Izuku. You do it, Izuku. Like, fuck yeah. But at the same time, like I thought it was pretty slow at some points. Like I kind of want to compare it to Hunter x Hunter because Hunter x Hunter is like a really good shonen that I'm currently watching too, and like maybe it's the way they set up the show for Hunter x Hunter. Like they just go through a lot more material in each episode.
Yeah.
It felt like no. Like Boku no Hero felt like they like
a condensed Hunter x Hunter.
It felt like they tried to cram more into each episode. Like they knew they only had 13 episodes, so they just
Boku did. Okay.
Yeah, so it just felt like
because Hunter x Hunter has a lot of episodes.
Yeah, so Hunter x Hunter has like a lot of episodes, so like they just were like, all right, let's just put one fight here, I guess, whatever. They won't even talk about it till next episode, and I don't know, like it felt like it was dragging at some points or something. Something just felt really slow to me in Boku no Hero, even though every episode like there was still like one thing that I was like, fuck yeah, you punch. Like punched well, and it was like really hype, but at the same time, like felt like a lot of the talking could have been like chopped off, and like more plot could have developed instead. But
I guess it's just like sacrificing certain things because like if there was less like dialogue, then like maybe there wouldn't be as much character development, and like because part of the dialogue is like especially with Izuku is like going through his thought process because he does a lot of thinking because he knows so much about heroes and things like that. So I think that you'd miss a lot without the dialogue, so I guess it's just like
no. I really like those kind of things, like diagnosing scenes. I just felt like a couple of the scenes were like they were really hammering the fact that Kacchan was like he's always grown up as a bully. Like he always had everything set in his life. They did like I feel like they did like four scenes and 4 different episodes about Kacchan and stuff.
Like 20 flashbacks of him like being a bully to Deku, and he's like, I get it. He's a bully. Like he was a bully.
Not nice.
Yeah. Or like every time that like Deku like or Izuku like says that he knows the weaknesses to whatchamacallit, All Might. Like he every time it's like, well, All Might's in a pinch. It's like, oh, I know why.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Like, only me. Only I know.
Yeah, do it like every single time. Yeah. And then I just feel like Hunter x Hunter like never really does that. It just kind of like throws you into the next plot kind of thing. So shonens do this though. So like Naruto, like I rewatched Naruto like whatchamacallit, the first season of it way back like 2 years ago, and like every episode's like, oh my god, Sasuke can use fireballs. Oh my god, Sasuke can use fireballs. Sakura, oh my god, Sasuke can use fireballs. And so it's just like very, very repetitive, but it kind of makes it feel more childish and not like that great. Or just a little bit slow.
So I was going to agree with you, Christian, that like it was awesome, but it felt slow at the same time. And I think that, like you said, it's a shonen. They're going to do that. But also the manga only has like 90 something chapters, and when you make a shonen anime, it can easily catch up to the manga, and then that's where fillers happen. So it's just like, well, let's kind of. I feel like they were, also just kind of like, it's fine that they take their time doing.
Yeah, because they probably don't want fillers.
Exactly. So, and it's just like, why not? But overall, still really good. It's supposed to be like the shonen, the one that's like supposed to take the mantle of One Piece and Bleach and Naruto.
Oh wow!
It's like the next generation shonen, yeah.
So I mean, like, I definitely has potential. I mean, and I think that it's good. Like, I get what you guys are saying with the slow thing, but I guess since I'm so used to it with like longer form shonen, then it didn't bother me very much, and it wasn't like super noticeable. But yeah, no, none of the.
By the way, none of the things that I say are like, this is like factual or objective or whatever.
Right.
It's very subjective just to me. Like, this is how I felt. Like, it's okay to like not feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, and we all still really enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Definitely a much watch.
Definitely a much watch of this season.
Much watch.
Much.
Yeah.
If you like hype.
Yeah, it's so hype. Like, oh my god.
Ultra,
fight scenes, like, fucking spot on. Not as cool as One Punch Man fight scenes. But, like, they definitely set it up for, like, these are kids. They're going to get so much stronger.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Like, they're already this strong.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do, like, a time skip or something, but I can't wait to see, like, their full extent of, like, them being pros.
So we're hooked on phonics. Any suggestions? What else do you guys suggest? I suggest, if you liked this, either watch One Punch Man or Hunter x Hunter, because
Yeah.
both of them are like shonen fighting style-y stuff. Well,
Yeah.
One Punch Man is not shonen, but One Punch Man is just amazing. Like,
It's
it's
a
always a good
deconstruction of
suggestion.
shonen.
Good suggestion,
Yeah.
like always. Yeah, like if you
Yeah.
watch Shokugeki, you should watch One Punch Man.
if
If you
you watch
watched,
anything.
yeah, if you watch Neon Genesis, you would like One Punch Man. So,
But what's
Yeah.
really weird to me is I remember when we first did like the first episode reactions, and when we watched Boku no Hero, I was like, something about this reminds me of Hunter x Hunter, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And now it's come first.
I mean,
it's like true
It is.
now.
both like super shonen-y. So
mhm.
the only one on my list that you guys haven't mentioned is obviously again just any like generic shonen or good shonen like Yu Yu Hakusho would be an example.
Oh yeah.
Would be great. And then Tiger and Bunny is also a superhero-based movie or series where it's with the world lot prose. And Tiger and Bunny is like more realistic in the sense that like there are some heroes that are like backed by companies like Pepsi. So every time one makes an
That's so
appearance, it'd be
great.
like Pepsi. It's like okay, cool.
That's great.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure. Like I get like Yu Yu Hakusho is really good, but I can't like say that it necessarily say it has a whole different mood to it because
Yeah,
like
I would say Boku has more of a
Spirit
kiddie
detective.
feel.
right.
Yu
And,
Yu
like,
Hakusho more older audience, I say.
Definitely.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the only thing with that.
Lots more blood and dying.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
True.
Okay,
And
so
completely different humor.
yeah, like
Anyways.
poop jokes.
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so that wraps up part 1 of our spring 2016 review. We only talked about 6 shows, so next week we're going to talk about 8, kind of. And now on to our second part, which is going to be talking about the show that we watched these past 2 weeks, which is Danshi Koukousei no Nichijou, which is Daily Lives of High School Boys, or on the forums known as Nichi Bros. And we never really said who would talk about this. Anybody want to give like quick synopsis? There's not really a synopsis.
There isn't.
So pretty much the story is the daily lives of high school boys, and it's a comedy where there are small skits that happen throughout these high school boys' life, and I like it a lot because it's not only just in the beginning. There's only like 3 boys, and they do like really stupid things, but then it slowly transitions to side characters as well, and the side characters are just as great.
Yeah,
So
like they're not
it's
even
re-
side characters
right,
anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They just
So-
drop one boy for like 4 episodes.
Yeah, I
And
know.
they mentioned it too. He's like, so when are we gonna come back? And they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
maybe you're just really boring. It's like, but I hang out with you guys.
They're like, I
It's
guess
so
they just
funny.
cut you out.
Yeah, yeah. You're on the cutting floor, dude. Like,
Yeah.
The show is. Did you say that the show is a bunch of shorts?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah, it's a bunch of like really weird short comedy skits, and they intertwine or they use some of them again and again, and there'll be recurring comedy things, and they'll have like actual plot development within that tiny little 4-minute skit,
Right.
and
So-
they're amazing.
One of my favorites, and I think one of Gabby's favorites, is Literary Girl.
I think it's hard not to.
Hmm.
Do what?
Hard not to love literary girls.
Yeah.
Such a-
And so the scenario is this guy is just one of the main characters, one of the daily high school boys is sitting down and he's like reading a book on like this hillside with a river.
Thing.
Yeah, riverbank, and this girl just walks up behind him like uncomfortably close and just standing there, and he's just like, and I love his inner monologue, like, holy shit, like, what is she expecting from me? And he's just like, like plain face, but like in his
Yeah.
mind, he's like,
He's
what the
flipping
like,
out.
yeah,
I bet she wants
He's
a
like-
perfect boy meets girl romance
I
right
know,
now.
He's like, she has so many expectations. I cannot meet these expectations.
Yeah.
say something. He's like, wind is cold, and he's like, oh god, what a lame thing, like, oh
Yeah, and he's like, the whole time he's like, I hate myself so much.
And then she's like eating it up because she's
Yeah.
like actually writing a book about how she meets a boy that has wind powers on a riverbank. And
Yeah.
he's just like, oh my god, that's me.
yeah.
What the hell?
And it's so great, just their interactions for the rest of like, because that's one of the most common ones I think that showed up. Like, I feel like every other episode there was something with literary girl, or at least it would, like she would
Mhm.
pop up in the background or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the relationship between them, it gets really hilarious because she basically becomes obsessed kind of with him.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because it's so like the high school boys. like it's very, these are situations that you would kind of go through as a high school boy. Like some of them are like specifically like geared towards Japanese high school boys, but
Right.
like crushes and stuff are so
Yeah.
so
Or how they're
like,
really confused,
universal.
like how do I get a girlfriend?
Yeah,
Or how,
whenever they like talk about that, or like whenever they do like silly things, like, dude, let's try on skirts. Like I did that with my friends in high schools, and like it's so funny because these situations like aren't that weird. Like they're not that weird.
I could like just feel like it was part of my high school life where just like so many dumb things happened. For like one of the really dumb things that happened, one of the skits is like they found a stick on the ground and they're like fucking Excalibur or whatever. And then a girl walks by, he just like drops it and they like keep walking and then like
I wasn't doing that.
Yeah, they're like super embarrassed. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, because they go to an all boys high school, so like sometimes they don't really quite know how to interact with girls, and they have like something in their mind of how they should interact with girls, but then it never goes that way.
Yeah.
And it's basically like it takes everyday life and like scenarios that would happen with regular people, and then all the characters are just so crazy eccentric that it makes all of them, the situations, way more hilarious and way more over the top than they need to be.
Yeah. And like the inner monologue of like boys in that situation. Yeah, they're just like, you know, just standing on a train or whatever, but then, you know, it's just like a regular setting, but in their head they're like, oh god, what do I do? Like,
why did I sit next to this girl? That was totally my fault.
The skit when that girl kept on like when a guy would like sit next to her and she would purposely get up.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm ruining their minds. Yeah.
And the monologue, like the guy was like, as a high school boy, the worst thing that could ever happen is a girl purposely moving away from you. And then he gets super depressed. I'm like, that's so true.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then I really like how within like 3 or 4 episodes in, they started doing the high school girls are funky at the end.
Yeah.
Where it was just like they do have a little short skit after their little like, what is it, EP? I don't know, the ending part.
ED.
ED, that's what it is. And they would do like a little segment of high school girls, and they were literally just like a reflection of the boys. It was so great.
Yeah. One thing that I really loved about this show was that it like almost reversed gender roles, because all the girls like did really gross, like mean things to the guys all the time. Like they were fucking with the guys more than the girl, like guys would fuck with girls. And then like it just seemed like they were the mean bullies of like the whole high school like situation.
Yeah,
and so,
specifically there was like the student councils, and then the girl student council came into the boy student councils, and they were like, okay, we're gonna show them up because they're gonna be discussing all this stuff. They come into the room, they're all very like gentlemen, and the room is very clean, and they're like, oh shit, they can't come to our room because it's a mess.
Exactly.
They like pour tea for like the guests and stuff, and they're like, oh my god, they're like so proper, they're getting all their work done. Like we're the opposite of that.
Right, and then they have a cake, and then the president girl is like getting really angry, and they're like, oh my god, is something wrong with the cake? And she's like, no! And she gets super upset. And, like,
this is better than any cake I've ever had.
Yeah. And then she ends up like in like a physical fight later on because she's just so like headstrong.
In the student, it was in the school's festival, and they fight, and then the guy with the hat, he's just like, so ends the fight between the 2 student council presidents, and they're like, nice recovery. Like, don't pretend like it's part of the show. Like,
it's so great.
Yeah, and then like for the funky girls part thingamabob, all of the boys are scared of this one girl because like in middle school or elementary school, like she used to beat up on all of them, and like she was called the demon, like the demon king or slayer or something like that.
The arch demon or something.
Arch demon. And it's just so funny what they do with like gender roles and how it's like not super awkward or something like that.
Right, and they're not like 2 separate entities, because like some of the side characters from the everyday boys like end up in the funky girls. Like one of them is the neighbor of one of the girls, so then he like every once in a while will be part of theirs. So it's not like 2 separate stories, they kind of intermingle a little bit. So I just sometimes they're like, because there is no character, you know, with like really bright pink hair that you're like, this is the main character. So there are a lot of times where I was like, is this the same character as before? And I would get some of the characters mixed up because they look so similar, because they're all just very
like,
basic.
They give like the blonde guys, they both have the same exact blonde spiky hair. And I'm pretty sure they do that on purpose, because like there's a couple skits where they like the friends like turn around, they're like, wait, who are you? Like, I thought you were my friend. And it's so funny.
I love when like serious situations happen, or like an overreaction happens, and the style of the art just completely changes the face. There's like shading. They have like cheekbones, and they're just
Oh
like
yeah,
They
yeah,
look so much older.
yeah. They give like really intense faces.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of, at first I was like, not sure exactly why they were doing this, but like how a lot of the side characters, they don't show their eyes, like they just have shadows. And so you never see the little sister's full face or anything like that. And it's just like, why? But I was just kind of like, fit their characters, I guess, in my opinion. After like I was halfway through, it didn't really bother me as much.
I just think it was all the girls that they did that for, and the guy with the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did take that once.
Yeah, I feel like he did take off his hat, but yeah, I felt like they put shading on the girls' faces to just be like, these girls aren't even like remotely close to being side characters. Like they're just supposed to be a girl, like kind of thing. So it's like, just think of them as a girl and how awkward it would be to have a girl stand here, like while you're wearing a girl's dress or something like that.
Yeah, and I also halfway like in my mind was like, these are a lot of characters to animate, so they probably just didn't want to do the full thing.
Budget wise, they're just like, fuck that.
So,
one thing that I wanted to, this isn't even, one thing I wanted to say was that Nichibros is very similar to Nichijou. And Nichijou's is like same comedy, short skit, like setting, slice of life that KyoAni made, but it's about like girls and their like kind of thing. And it's very similar, and it felt like, I thought that Nichijou was after Nichibros, but Nichibros was made after Nichijou actually. Nichijou, like the art style is like really weird, but it looks like better than Nichibros.
It looks cleaner.
Yeah, it looks cleaner than Nichibros. But I guess Nichibros like stole the same scene from Nichijou. But I wanna talk about it and see if you guys remember it. But in Nichijou, there is like a scene. Have you guys seen Nichijou?
I've watched I've watched some of it.
I watched skits.
Okay, well this is like the first episode. This is like
okay.
There's like there's like a little scene where one of the girls wants to eat her octopus hot dog because it's like the best thing in her bento, and she's like about to put it in her mouth, and it falls. And it's they make a really epic scene where it's like slow motion and every single person is trying to grab it. Nichibros had the same scene with that one dude's
the like hot dog,
corn dog thing, and it was just really funny that they would like literally use like the same reactions too. Like at what, like I think the third person to touch the hot dog like smacks it, like same third person that smacks it in Nichibros than Nichijou. So if you liked Nichijou, definitely watch Nichibros and vice versa, because like they basically go hand in hand. They're both hilarious, and I guess they like borrowed from each other, or one of them stole from the other one. I'm not really sure. It was really interesting, but
Well, I was gonna say one of my favorite things about the Nichibros was like that they were always like aware that they were in an anime.
Yeah,
and like
the fourth wall a lot.
Yeah, very self-aware.
It was so funny because like there would be like we said the moment where like the one character stopped showing up and he's like, why aren't they putting me in? And like there are just so many moments where they're like, this is not what he was like right in the beginning they like have like mechs and all sorts of stuff, and then they're like, wait, this is not what
that guy.
We're a slice of life.
Yeah.
We're a slice of life. We're not a mech anime.
Right.
Yeah.
They actually talked about. They're like, we're not a slice of life. We're just a life about high school boys. They're like, oh.
Yeah. So it's very sarcastic. I really love like their sense of humor and stuff.
Yeah.
And
they would always make up scenarios, and they would all end up being on the same page, and you're like, how you just like connected.
Like, one of my favorite scenes of which you're talking about is when they're like begging the student council girl president to borrow some items, and all the guys in the student council are like kind of thug looking, like the delinquent looking, right? And they're like in an alley, they're like, please, can we, like borrow your items? They're like all around her, and then some random dude saves them. But they all pretend to be beat up by that dude because they don't want to embarrass him.
It's as if they have telepathy, because you hear all their thoughts being like, she doesn't get it, and then the next guy's like, what is she doing? She's not supposed to be doing that. And like they're all on the same page, but none of them have talked to each other. It's so great.
Yeah, they're so bro too, because they're like they'd rather be beaten up and pretend to be beaten up just to save that guy from embarrassment.
Oh, I thought they were trying to get him to like get the girl. I thought they were like
No,
trying to give him
he
the
was-
girl.
He didn't. They don't want to embarrass him that he had just tried to save her from boys that she
from a
actually knew.
friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they're always bros, even though sometimes their bro stuff like ends up seeming like they're actual horrible friends. Like one of the things skits I have written down is when they were playing the kick the can, and they played kick the can with the kid Gundam. It was the first Gundam he's ever made, and then one of the kids breaks it, and he's like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, we wanted to break it because we bought you a present for your birthday,
And it was the same one. Yeah.
so we had to break it. So here's the new one." And then the guy's like, "This isn't even the brand. This is like off brand."
And then it shows him throwing it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. I was like, "Where is this going?" I was like, "Why are they kicking his Gundam?" And then like, as soon as they kick it, the guy's like, "Listen."
I know.
Like,
Super serious.
we did it. Yeah. We did it for the greater
birthday.
good of your
Yeah.
birthday.
We all pulled money and got you this Gundam you already had.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So much of the humor is so like physical based, like very slapstick.
Mhm.
And I mean that's if it's done right, which it's done very right in this, I think is so great because like my one that I was dying was one where they were slipping on ice. It was just like the same thing. There's a skit where like literally 3 characters slip on the same
The
ice
same
4
ice.
different times,
Yeah.
and I was just like, it was just so funny, even though it was like the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was overall, I enjoyed pretty much everything about it.
Yeah.
Very like I was just finding myself laughing out loud, like for real. Not like a puff of air out of my nose, but like
Yeah.
lolling, like oh my roommates hear me.
Ugh.
God, weird.
Yeah. Okay, so overall, how would you guys rate it? What is your personal rating?
I don't know, 10 out of 10.
10 out of
Yeah.
10?
I was gonna say like 9
Masterpiece?
out of 10.
10
See,
out
this
of
is why
10?
I don't like fucking rating things.
Best
It's
thing
really,
ever?
really fucking good. Really good comedy.
Really?
You should watch it. There.
Okay.
Now
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna-
I would literally like possibly rewatch this in the future.
Yeah. And I told Christian this, but I read the manga like 2 years ago, and I'm glad I rewatched it this time because not only do I like remember the skits, but this time it's in motion.
Yeah.
So like it's definitely rewatchable or rereadable.
hmm
Mhm.
So I think that anything that I can rewatch, I put like 9 or 10 on.
Nice.
That's how I feel.
Wow. All right. Well, I rated it an 8, but sorry guys. I just remember like 4
What was the-
episodes in the middle. I don't know if it was because I was watching it like late at night, but I was literally just like not laughing for like 4 episodes straight, and like I don't know, it's just like dragged. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Just
Yeah.
I wouldn't give it a 10, but I think I just don't give comedies 10s. Like I don't think I've watched a comedy and been like, that is just fucking amazing. Like they're funny, but that's how I see them.
Within
So,
their own genre, I feel like it's really, really amazing.
mhm. Yeah.
With that, yeah. I mean, I've only watched a handful of comedies, so
According to Hummingbird, it's my favorite genre, and I've watched like 56 comedies out of.
I mean,
like,
everything's
out
a
of
comedy.
out of
like,
80 shows. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of slice of life count.
Yeah,
every
it's tagged as
size
comedy.
of life. Yeah. So, oh well. Yeah. So I rated 8. You guys rated 10. So overall, Daijoubu gives it a 9.3 out of 10. That's how math works.
Is that wait? Are we doing official Daijoubu ratings now?
Oh, wait, we did
God.
that. We did that for Spice and Wolf, and
Yeah, we did.
whatchamacallit?
Yeah, that is true. That is
And
true.
yeah, I calculated our average like in my head because I'm so good at math. But
Ooh, ladies.
I was like literally sitting here like 10 plus 10 plus 8 divided by 3. But did you guys want to say any other things about Danshi Koukousei no Nichijou?
I don't think so.
I think we
It's-
covered
it's
it all.
a
Really great
I mean-
reaction, super funny.
It's
Everyone
something
should
that
watch.
you can watch like if you don't want to commit your time to like a series or like you know just one episode thing to watch for lunch or something. Yeah, go ahead and watch it. It's like
Yeah.
really easy to get into.
So funny. Yeah.
Yeah, because even like I didn't. You don't even have to sit there and watch 30 minutes. Like there were points where I literally would watch the 5
Yeah.
minute like segment in the beginning, pause it, and then I would like go do something, come back and watch the second
Go take a
part
dump.
because
Because each skit is only like 5 minutes, so
yeah,
you know like that's Yeah, it's super.
It's really easy to split up. You don't have to like be like, I'm dedicating 30 minutes or an hour, depending on how many. You can literally do whatever increment of time.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep. All right, so I guess that wraps up our 12th episode of Daijoubu podcast. Next week we are going to be covering Spring 2016 Part 2, reviews, end of season reviews, which we're going to talk about Re:Zero, Bungo Stray Dogs, Panda Piece for like 5 seconds, Cabinery of the Iron Fortress, Flying Witch, Sakamoto, this is a really long name. Natoge, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's like Ecchi Sao, and Kumamiko. So probably not in that order, but all of those ones. And then we are also going to be talking about OPs and EDs, and just like
seeing if they're important or not important, and versus.
Yeah, like if you watch them, why you watch them, if you stuff like that. Good ones and bad ones. I guess, too. We haven't really covered it. Oh, also, we need to talk about the next show that we're going to be watching as a podcast group. So 2 weeks from now, actually not 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, we're going to be talking about a show that Gabby picked, which is called...
The Tatami Galaxy.
Nice. I actually forgot what we were watching.
I'm trying to see if it has like a Japanese name. If it would come up.
Sounds pretty Japanese. I don't know what it means.
Tatami? Tatami's like the floor mat, right?
That's a floor mat?
Tatamis? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the floor.
Tatami's like the
like bamboo-ish looking
floor mat galaxy? I did not know what that was. I thought it was just a cool word. Like, tatami. Japanese cool word.
Yeah, no, that's like that typical flooring that you see in like older Japanese houses.
You can like pick them up. Like there's like 8 of them, or like they're... I don't know.
Yeah, otherwise in Japanese it's Yojohan Shinwa Taikei.
Nice.
So the word tatami is not in there.
Maybe there's the Japanese word for tatami on there, something like that. But okay, cool. Do you guys have any last words for this episode? Any shout outs you guys want to make?
I don't think so. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and just follow us on Twitter. I'm My Lady Gabriella, and then the other one just Daijoubu Podcast.
Yeah.
David, nothing?
Nah, I got nothing.
All right, so that's a good wrap to this episode. So just stay tuned, watch us later, and remember, Daijoubu.
Daijoubu?